Morning. Hopefully this will catch up here. Good morning, everyone. Hi, it is Stacy. We are Loving My Veteran. This is Walking in My Shoes. This has been a week. I'm running late every day this week. I will try to get on task next week. Fabulous Friday is here, talking about how we get fabulous on Friday and what we've accomplished that made us fabulous this week. Just something we've done that's made us have a fabulous week and where we're going forward. So first of all, before I get too fabulous in my Fabulous Friday, coffee is a must, so let me have a few more sips of it. And let's talk about Fabulous Fridays. Where are we at? What have we done? Talk about your personal accomplishments. Let's share things that we didn't know would have been fabulous moments. They create those moments. So I'm going to start with some of the things that we've been through this week. So Carl and I, the other night, which is, amen, Pamela, amen. Carl and I started off the other night with a debate. The debate is, I am going to quit smoking, and he's not, which is fine. So it was, where are we going to smoke? Where, he's not smoking in the house in front of me. Where's this going to work? How is this going to work out? So, me, and in my infinite wisdom, was, I thought I was being nice. We're going to go get a pop-up tent that goes out back in with them easy up, and I turned the TV around so he could watch it from outside. Well, let's just say that didn't go over well. Good morning, Sir Kim. Let's just say that didn't go over real well. So, we had a debate, as he called it. It wasn't a fight, it was a debate about, okay, what is the right way to get this accomplished? And so as he started talking and getting things out, and then it kind of turned argument, and then it kind of turned debate again, and we were kind of arguing, and I kind of got offended, so I got my feelings hurt, so I got up and I walked off in the other room and distracted myself for a minute so my feelings wouldn't stay so hurt. And then we came back, and we talked again. Good morning, Meredith. And we talked some more, and he said, I only feel this way because of my past relationships. And this is what happened in them. And this is why I hurt. And this is how what you said made me hurt. And I was like, yes. Okay, so in the middle of this argument, debate, fight, discussion, whatever we want to call it, he opened up to the point where he said, I've been carrying this with me for a long time. It came from my past relationships. Good morning, Sue. It came from my past relationships. And this is how I felt. Okay, so do y'all understand what a fabulous moment that was for us? Because normally when you ask them what's going on, I'm fine. I got this. I'm fine. But for him to sit down and say, my past made me feel this way, even though we think of it, we're in the middle of this debate, fight, discussion, and we weren't fighting like normal. I mean, we weren't like yelling, we weren't like slamming things down, we were getting heated, he did piss me off, I got up and I stormed off, I came back after a few minutes, after I cleared myself. That is when I kind of turned the chair and said, well, here, let's just invite her to the party. Of course, pushing a button, which was not a good moment. But even pushing the button, things didn't get so bad. Okay? So bad. They didn't get there. And we talked. Okay? And we talked. And that, for him to say, this is how I feel, I know you're not her, but this has happened in the past, and based off of my past, based off of past relationships, past situations, past settings in my life, that's how I feel the way I feel. And I'm like, that's a fabulous moment. That is a fabulous moment. So, we don't have to look for all these fabulous moments in the clouds and in the skies and in the rainbows. Those fabulous moments happen everywhere. And it was in the middle of a debate or a fight or a discussion or whatever you want to call it. It was in the middle of that that we had a fabulous let's share moment at a deeper level than we've ever had. And to be able to do that became a fabulous moment and a breakthrough moment. It is a victory wall worthy moment. And so that's where I'm saying when we start looking at where are we at in our fabulousness, where we are at in getting ourselves together. It doesn't just have to be breakthrough moments like that. Did you take time for you this week? Did you take time for you this week? I'm telling you, the best money we ever spent was on the blow up hot tub that sits in the backyard. And I probably do it 5 times a week. I go sit in there by myself, me, the bubbles, a drink, and just sit there. I don't even use the radio anymore. I just sit there and I look at the stars and I just sit there and I just suck it all in. Okay. All of his baby's mama's names are Sarah. Talk about bringing up the exes, right? But I took those moments in. And they may have been 5 minutes. I may have spent 15 minutes. I think one day I spent 20 minutes in there. But I spent time alone doing something for me. Girl, Walmart. I thought I was kidding. When they said blow up hot tubs, I was laughing. Walmart. You can get them at Walmart online, and if they've still got them in the store, they are cheaper in the store because they're in and out the season. But I'm telling you, it was amazing. It literally went up in 5 minutes. It literally keeps the heat hot. It is amazing, and even the dogs have like jumped up on it and haven't poked a hole in it. So amazing, amazing. It has 140 jets. But it was just something I needed and something he wanted to give me because when we moved into this house, we didn't have a bathtub, and I like to soak in the bathtub. I don't like to take a shower in the bathtub. I want to take a shower and get all the dirt off, and then I'll sit in the bathtub. But that's just kind of my space. Water is my calm. So to have that I took those minutes for me, and it got me somewhere so much further. Okay? So much further. I'm telling you, y'all do not have one of those. They are amazing. Mine's made by Coleman. It is amazing. Now I feel like I'm doing a Coleman ad, but it is amazing. I didn't think it would be as durable. It's got a cover, everything, and we've been through some really bad thunderstorms, and the cover and all stayed on it. It is amazing. So anyway, I took me time. I found me time. In amongst all the stuff, I found me time. We did Let's Talk last night, and I understand now there's some link problems. I will go in again this week, fix it, take them all out. I think what's happening is that I'm personally running off of 2 Zooms, and I need to get them all onto one, and that's where my problem lies, so I'm going to fix that right now. Okay, but I will tell you that hot tub is totally amazing. It's about your me time, though. It's about taking that time. And so learning, like we were on Let's Talk, and I had really pushed myself too much this past week, emotionally, physically, mentally. I was done. And I got on, and I was just like, I don't feel good. And they're like, Stacey, let's just be done early. And so finally, we can talk till 11:30, 1 o'clock sometimes on these Let's Talk when we get talking. And everyone's kind of like, you know what? We all kind of need to reset. And I'm like, y'all, I got to go to bed. Y'all can sit here and talk, but I got to go lay down and do something. But I was able to do that. I was able to say, hey, look, I love you people, and I want to talk to you people, and I'm good with talking to you people, but I need to take care of me. So again, Fabulous Friday. That was a huge moment in being fabulous for myself. When you can start looking at where your victories have come from. See, all this time is not about them. We tend to think that, oh, it's all about my veteran, oh, it's all about my kids, oh, it's all about my family, oh, it's all about this. The reality is it's all about you. Because when, the old saying, if mama ain't happy, ain't nobody happy. But it's not about buying stuff for mama. It's not about doing that. It's about mama's mental mindset. Okay, so when you're not happy, mentally are not happy, when you're mentally exhausted, when you're mentally stressed, when you're mentally strained, Nobody else is happy. You will be able to achieve more victories than you ever dreamed possible if you would learn to become happy and take time for you. I know that sounds tough, but if you learn to take time for you, that's what this whole thing we talk about is about all the time. Your boundaries are your boundaries. Okay? Girl, I'm going to go get mine done too. See, this is such a good thing. Boundaries are your boundaries. So when you keep your boundaries, keep your boundaries. Don't make Mama lose her shit today. Hey, can we get that on like our new Loving My Veteran cups, Melissa? Loving my veteran, but don't make me lose my shit today. That would be great. I need that on our cup. Can you make that happen? Melissa is our cup lady. Sorry. So it is just that you find that you have to be happy. You have to be spiritual happy. You have to be mentally happy. You have to be where you've got to sit. Those are all important things that we have to do. I've been messaging you so I can order my cups today. Yeah, I need that. I so need that. Message Melissa. She'll tell you how to handle it. So, you can handle Melissa. She is our cup guru lady. Being mentally there. Being mentally there is a big deal. And you're going to find that you're not going to get things accomplished. You're not going to settle in your life. If your veteran's life is not going to settle down, you're not going to find that conflict resolution. Do we still have conflicts? Absolutely. We're going to have conflicts. We're going to have conflicts forever. It is in the conflict resolution that we need to get ourselves together. But if we're not happy, ain't nobody happy, and that's the way it works. Don't make me lose my shit. I love that. I need that. We're not happy as nobody's happy. That's the bottom line. That's the bottom line. And in order to do that, you have to think about your fabulous moments, because we get so bogged down in the little. And y'all know, I'm telling you, your most fabulous moments, you shine your absolute best when you are at your weakest, because that's when you're already negative and tired and icky and whatever. And when you make that turn and make one good moment, one good move, one good time, when you make one good among all the stuff in the negative wallowing, and you see one good thing come, one light at the end of the tunnel that you finally realize is not a train, one anything, that starts to turn your life around, and those are fabulous moments. There's over 80,000 seconds in a day. Make some of them count. See, there's no way that all 80,000 seconds in a day are bad. There's no way. It is mathematically impossible to have them all bad. You got good in there. When you start looking at that good, when you start looking at those 80 plus thousand seconds out of a day, what is your one good? What is your one good? It is the way it works. One good. Start finding your one good. See, I go back and you know, y'all know that Kia is like my matriarch hero woman when it comes to spouses. You know, we talk and we're talking about some of her Richard's struggles throughout the week and whatever. And she calls, right? And she calls me and she says, "We've had a good day. Richard marched in place for 6 steps." For 6 steps. Now, I know that to most of us, we're like, what the heck? That doesn't mean anything. When this man can't even get up, for him to march in place for 6 steps is a victory and is a moment of fabulousness, and her smile and her feeling and her peace went way up. She embellished those moments of happiness. those moments of fabulousness. See, that's what we do. We embellish the moments of fabulousness. And so as I'm talking to her and we learn about things like, hey, what I want, and she's like, oh, well, we're worried about this blood level and this level, and this blood level. And so we're just talking about different levels and stuff. And she goes, but he marched in place for 6 steps. So she didn't even take in all the rest of the negative that was dumped on her that day. She focused on the 6 steps of fabulousness. And so what happens to her mindset? It totally changes. So we do this and we get caught up in this ick and we don't think about all the positives. We don't think about all the things that could be positive in our lives. We don't get excited about the positives, even when they're tiny. What are your 6 steps of victory? That whole day could have been a crap day. And I don't even remember exactly everything else that went on in that day with her. But that whole day could have been a crap day. And in amongst it, she had 6 steps, 6 seconds of victory that changed her entire day and made it fabulous. See, that's what it's about. It's about finding, when you start focusing on the fabulous, when you start focusing on those victories, when you start focusing on the little stuff, and it doesn't have to all be with your veteran. What did you do? Did you set a boundary at work and say, I'm taking a half an hour for lunch, and take a flipping half an hour for lunch? Have you ever, I don't think I've ever done that in my entire working career until now. And this is volunteer, so I don't get paid, so it's great. But I don't think I've ever done that until now, where I've ever taken a half an hour for lunch or my full lunch break. I may have come back early and done something, whatever. It is there, Sarah. He's hung out with you to watch TV 2 evenings in a row. Those are victories. And you know, we started doing that when COVID first hit. We had movie night. Because we always said when we first started dating, we wanted to go to the drive-in. Well, there ain't a drive-in in town no more, but you know, whatever. So we wanted to go to a drive-in. So we created our own. We sat out on the front porch and we watched movies outside. I'm gonna tell you something. I wanted to be with him. Right? I could have watched like chick flick movies or something, you know, good movie, whatever. I spent the entire first 6 months of COVID lockdown watching Transformers and Marvel. And by the way, I can even tell you the difference between Marvel and DC Comics. I'm impressed. It took me, I didn't know, didn't care, but I know. But you know what? It didn't matter what we watched. It was the fact that we watched it together. So those became our moments of victory. Those became the moments that mattered. That is what mattered. And when you start to look at those moments, you know, and this is the typical pattern that we see. So what happens? We spent hours on the porch, sitting outside, laptop, watching a movie, just like we were on a date. When everybody else was locked down and not even talking to each other, we were on a date watching movies. Right? My cousin, who was in a band, they did a big band, they did a live COVID show, and we sat out on the side porch with a big old bonfire, just him and I, and we listened to them play, and we were like having a private front row concert. So it doesn't matter what you were doing, those were victories. But here's what happens. This is what happens. So I watch Transformers. I don't care if I ever see another car transform into another thing ever. It doesn't matter to me. Not my favorite show to watch. But that didn't matter, because instead of me getting caught up on, and you see so many people getting caught up on, well, yeah, we watched a movie, but it wasn't what I wanted to watch. It's what he wanted to watch. Who cares? Are you in the same space? Who cares? Are you in that same space? There's your fabulous moment, but we can't see past that moment. We can't see past that 1 minute of fabulous because we want to get into the next negative thing. Stop practicing negative. Start living positive. Make sense? Stop practicing negative. Start living positive. So I watched God knows how many hours of Transformers and Marvel and all the other stuff that goes with it. I did all of that. And you know what? We survived. You know what? We watch TV together every night. And that is what you learn. That is what you learn as you go forward. Those are the things that we do. Last night he realized that we don't have enough quiet time. See, he caught that. Sarah, he caught that. He caught that. He caught that he didn't have enough quiet time with you. He caught that. Victory. That's where you are. The victory. That's where you are. See, that's where you change your mindset. That's right. After 7 years, who cares what it is? Any time is better than no time. But you know what happens? When we've watched 6 months worth of Transformers and 6 months worth of Marvel, the other day, he wanted to watch a chick flick with me. Every day, he wanted to watch a chick flick with me. Every morning during the week when I'm leaving for work. I love this. Winnie walks me to the car, opens the door, gives me a kiss, and sees me off. I cherish this. Absolutely. 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 There is not one night, and I don't care how much we've argued or how much we've fussed or how much we've done during the week. I don't care. Carl gives me a kiss every single night before we go to bed and tells me good night, beautiful. Every single night he does that. And I give him a kiss and told him I was going to bed early last night because when he was with me on Thing News, I was like white. And a few minutes later, he comes back in. And I'm almost asleep and he comes back in. I'm like, what's wrong? And he says, nothing. I just didn't want you to be asleep without me telling you good night and that you're beautiful. And I'm like, wow. Wow. And understand, y'all, these are the same people. The walking to the car, opening the door, giving you a kiss, seeing you off. The one who's got to give me a kiss every single night and tells me I'm beautiful, right? The one who's got to give me a kiss every morning and tell me good morning. These are the people that society, a lot of spouses, they all think that they're damaged and they're defective and they're this and they're that and they're the people they want to throw out. Because let me tell you one thing about these veterans. Let me tell you one thing about them. On the outside, they might be tough. They might have a lot of layers that you have to peel off to get to their heart. But they typically are the most kind-hearted, loving people you can find. It's just getting through the wall they've put up. Okay? It's just through the thing they put up. We both know to start our day positive and have our coffee together and chat while we watch the movie. We do that all the time until I started doing this. Now he makes my coffee and brings it to me. But they are the most kind-hearted people. They are the most giving people when you can get through the walls. Because let me tell you a little secret about this. These guys have seen things and done things that morally we couldn't even begin to comprehend. We can't even begin to comprehend. And if they didn't develop this toughness around their heart, they'd be unfunctionable. So part of that helps with this whole PTSD thing because they're battling that internal struggle between their kind heart, loving selves that they really are at their core and what they've dealt with. And so when we peel back that layer, one thing at a time, we will find that in the truth, they are very loving and very kind. And, you know, I know Carl loves me. There's no doubt that he loves me. But when Nakia sat there last night and looked at him and said, Carl, I'm proud of you. And he's like, for what? I'm just doing what I do. I love her. You could see, because we were talking about my medical stuff, you could see the love and the passion in his face. You could see that love and that passion there in his face. And for me to see that in his face was amazing. Because the love is so much deeper than what anybody can imagine. But we had to chip through the crap. We still have a lot of crap to chip through. But at the core of it all, he loves me more than anything in this world. And I love him the same way. We don't always communicate well. We don't always do it the best. We don't always not push buttons. But I had to learn it was okay to love him where he was. And he had to learn that it was okay to love me where I was. And together, we've both grown. And it's okay to love him. I think that's the thing that we don't understand, because society tells us, well, you shouldn't love somebody who yells. You shouldn't love somebody who loses it. You shouldn't love somebody who doesn't help around the house. You shouldn't. Do you know what goes on behind their door? We don't. You know the difference in why we all communicate this and why we all hear a lot of this negative stuff that goes on in these relationships? Because we have a common bond. So we talk about the common bond. Okay, so that's part of it. But the same kind of crap goes on in other people's homes too. They just don't talk about it to each other. Right? They don't talk about it. So therefore, oh, well, you know, hey, that's what happens. So we talk about it on these groups like this. We talk about it in other groups. And so therefore, the bigger negative picture comes out. And that's part of what happens. So, you know, look for our fabulousness. Because y'all think I'm kidding. The same stuff goes on in other people's houses. It just may not be in the exact same way we deal with it. It goes on. They do disagree. They do fight. They do say hateful things to each other at times. It does happen in other homes besides yours. But you want to talk about somebody who is faithful, and you want to talk in deep in their soul and their commitment, that man in there. And he said it to Nikki and them last night. I would take a bullet for her, and there is no doubt in my mind he would. None. Fabulousness. It's not found in freaking huge stuff. It's found in little stuff. 6 steps of marching. Movies 2 nights in a row, back to back. Giving you a kiss before you go to work. Telling you love you before you go to bed. It's found in that stuff. It's not always found in the big stuff. That's where your fabulousness comes from. Take today. I am going to put out, so everybody will have it on Monday. It's part of a project we're going to do leading into those who are taking boot camp, and those that cannot get into the boot camp class. We're going to still do some stuff on the groups that will kind of help you follow along with kind of where we are in boot camp. But we're going to do an assessment. I just want everybody to commit to giving us probably 3 weeks. it's gonna be a printable. You can print it, you can use it in a notebook, whatever. I want you to do this really cool 5 minute, interesting little assessment every day for 5 minutes every day. I want you to sit back at the day and I want you to talk about what happened in your day. I mean, and there's gonna be blanks. So, like today we had a conflict over. Did we know about this conflict ahead? It's gonna be eye opening. Did you guys talk about this conflict? Was it something you knew about that you didn't tell him that was going to come up because you didn't want to get him all real weird first or whatever? Anyway, it's a little survey thing. It's going to be a printable. I want you to start filling those out. I don't care that you share them with me. I want you to fill them out because what it's going to show you is it's going to one show you patterns. Patterns are key. You're going to learn patterns that trigger behaviors. Patterns, number one. Two, you're going to learn about your mindset. What was your mindset like when you got into this disagreement? What was his mindset like? And how did you resolve it? See, those are the things you're going to start to see. And you're going to see that when you're in a crappy mood, sorry, Martha, and you can always play these back. But we're going to do these. They'll be out so that you can have them for Monday. But we're going to follow these. And I want you to start keeping account of your positive. You can do it in a notebook. You can do it on the printables if you want to print them out. But it is really for you to start to assess when you argue. When do you get into it? What is your mindset when you argue? What is your mindset what is his? What has gone on in the day? What things do you have coming up? See, when you start to look at that picture and you kind of map that out, all of a sudden you're going to go, oh crap. If I would have said this or I would have done this, things are going to, and you're going to be able to assess it. It's kind of like doing a report card of your day in just a brief form. It doesn't need to be in depth. To start seeing trends and patterns. Trends and patterns. It is amazing. That will be amazing when you start seeing trends and patterns. When things improve, what did I do today that was different than yesterday? Was my mindset better? Did I approach him at a different time? Did I approach her with a different philosophy when I came in? What did I do that made this conversation better? When that's where you're going to start really analyzing where you're at. And you're going to be like, oh crap, I got this. You're going to see what does it. What is his trigger? What is your trigger? We all have them. So that's what we're going to be into next week. I'm going to get off of here, y'all. It is Fabulous Friday. I am actually going to go to my son's for a little bit. And we're going to move some stuff around. And I get to see the very pregnant lady who's going to have a baby soon. And, 30 a month from today. So get to see that. Get to spend some time with David. Carl and I are going to go over there. And hopefully we're going to finish this last bit of getting the butter up done. So anyway, I'm going to get off of here. I'm Stacy. This is Loving My Veteran. This has been Walking in My Shoes. Y'all have a fabulous Friday. Get yourselves together. Think about your victories. Spend your time. Happy Friday, everyone. Bye.